They're back with a British classic, but is this vintage Northern Monk or just some more Northern junk? Hello and welcome back to the channel, and yes, today I'm taking a look at this from Northern Monk. It is their Great Northern Bitter, coming in at 4.5%. And when I spotted a best bitter in the craft beer section in my local supermarket last week, you can guarantee my ears pricked up just a little bit because, well, I'll be honest, I am bored of supermarket craft beer. You'll notice on this channel I've not reviewed any for quite a while now, and just none of it's exciting. It's just the same old stuff. Don't get me wrong, some of the classic lines in there are still fantastic, but they've been done to death. I've reviewed some of them, well, several times now, so yeah, just nothing new really piquing my interest. But this, a best bitter from Northern Monk, might just change that. It's not so much that it's from Northern Monk. I do like their stuff, but to be honest, well, recently they've not been all that great in my experience. But the fact it's a best bitter, a trad style in the craft beer section, yeah, that is just a little bit interesting. Now, of course, it's not the first time a best bitter has appeared in the craft section of your local supermarket. There was a previous one, and it was also by Northern Monk. It was part of their Don't Mess With Yorkshire range, I think it was called, a couple of years ago. They're back with this one. I assume it's different. I would hope so. I can't remember what the ABV of that previous one was offhand, but yeah, it should be interesting nonetheless. Before we break into it then, a quick look at the can. It is pretty standard Northern Monk stuff. It feels a bit more like it's that kind of Don't Mess With Yorkshire styling rather than their proper crafty lines, but beautiful artwork on there, I'm not gonna lie. I really dig in that. Loads of info as you normally get from a Northern Monk beer, but yeah, it's just a properly nice looking thing. Probably another reason that it caught my eye. Trad style glass for this one because, well, it's a trad beer. Pour's looking good. It's maybe a bit lighter than I thought it was going to be. Not that there's a set rule for a best bitter. They do seem to vary quite a bit, but oh no, okay, maybe, no, take it back. Now it's all in there. It's starting to look the business and a bit foamy, but well, makes a full pint. Not a bad pour. So in the glass, it is a slightly hazy, again, not unusual for a best bitter, quite unusual for a kind of bottled or canned bitter. They normally tend to be completely clear, but if you're having this on cask in a bar, then yeah, absolutely, it looks the business. It is still just a touch light for me. On camera, it always darkens it off a little bit, so it probably looks about right for you, but yeah, maybe just a touch light. It's got this nice orangey yellow hue to it. Big foamy white head there. Yeah, pretty standard stuff, if I do say so myself. Right then, into the aromas. First signs looking good. It smells like a best bitter. It smells like it's got that trad hop profile. And just as I say that, there's something slightly tropical, just a hint of a more modern hop in there somewhere. There's no real big notes from it, but got that soft, floral, slightly grassy hop note that you will get in most trad bitters. Plus, as I said, something just a little bit fruity, a little bit mango-y perhaps. The malt's coming through, it's nice, soft caramel tones, that sort of thing. Pretty much straight up best bitter. Not outstanding, but nothing bad about it at all. So let's give this a go. Cheers. That is not bad. And I don't mean that in the it's surprisingly good sense either. I mean, it's literally not bad. It's good. It's good. It's not fantastic, but it is decent. It's a solid bitter. If you didn't show me this and you bought me a pint of it and go, it's the local bitter, I'd be like, yeah, all right, fine. So it's all right. It doesn't taste expensively made, but also it wasn't an expensive can. I think £2.50 or £3 a can I paid for this in Morrisons. So yeah, you know, the head's not really sticking around, but overall, nice hoppy notes, bitterness is there, bit of sweetness, bit thin maybe. Maybe it's just me today. It has all the hallmarks of what I really want in a proper best bitter, but something somewhere is just failing that impressive test, and I don't know quite what it is. So top to bottom taste test time. Let's try and get into this properly. On the very tip of the tongue, nice sweet caramelly malt, quite sweet actually, properly sweet up front. There's a little bit of that floral hop note in there, but it's not too big, it's not dominant, it's just a kind of tip of the hat to it. Then across the first third, bitterness strikes, not a lot else actually, like that first third of the tongue, almost half the tongue actually, really. With the exception of the very tip is bereft of flavour, I think is probably the safe way to put it. Again, there's no off tone, it's not bad, it's just there's bitterness and not a great deal else. So we're just going to go straight to the back of the tongue, and then malt doesn't really come back again. It's quite weird that, because normally in a bitter you would expect a nice big bit of malt, biscuity malt right at the back there. The hops come back in, they're kind of generic, trad, something like Goldings that's, you know, it's just a little bit floral, a little bit grassy, it's not too offensive. But there's a citrusy vibe in this, kind of soft, sweet citrus cum stone fruit thing. Again, reminding me more of a modern hop variety. Again, it's not bad, but I think it's that malt, that lack of malt, with the exception on the tip of the tongue, while it's on the palate, that, well, truthfully just makes this a tiny bit disappointing. All is not lost though, because on the aftertaste, more bitterness, big, spiky, sweet, biscuity. It's all very soft, like really nice flavours, really nice flavours. You can tell already, I've drank half of it already. It's just a really easy sessionable sipper. That's the good news. But it just doesn't have any wow points. I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it. I might buy it again even, but I don't know. It's just missing something. Let's take a look at the can, see if we can get any clues as to how it was made and what's in it. So on the back it says, only the best, hallmark of the north, an amber best bitter, sup up and enjoy. Craft brewed with northern pride for a rich malty flavour. It is slightly more malt leaning than hoppy, but only just really. It's not properly malty, it's not big, deep, rich malt. The ingredients are water, malted barley, wheat. Okay, fair enough. I mean, you can use wheat in a best bitter, I don't know if it's that normal. Does it tell us what hops are? Oh dear, I didn't finish the ingredient list. Water, malted barley, wheat, maltodextrin. Maltodextrin is something that I hate in beer. Now, don't think there's a lot of it in this. I normally pick up on it really quite easily, especially in stouts. Well, it's normally used as a bit of a sweetener and or thickening agent. It's not that sweet, but it maybe is a bit too sweet for what feels like the amount of other ingredients in there. But the mouth feels pretty awful given that it's got additives in. It doesn't tell us what hops have been used. Yeah, look, it's fine. This is not a grand return to form for Northern Monk. I'm more than happy to see more best bitters in the craft section of supermarkets, honestly. I know people won't like it, say it's not a craft style. Well, it can be. It's just, you know, got to do it properly. They've cut corners with this. They've used maltodextrin. It's not a proper craft version, let's be honest. It's not a bad version, but the fact that you're going out there giving it the Great Northern Bitter, you've got to compete with a flurry of high-profile trad brewers, certainly not limited to, but definitely including Theakston and Black Sheep, who do some tremendous bitters, not necessarily always in the supermarket, I might add, so that might be a question mark there in their favour. But yeah, I mean, it's a decent bitter. It's not a Northern Bitter highlight. You don't buy this and go, oh, that's what Northern Bitter's all about. There's so much more to it than this, and I think they've cut some corners, is my honest opinion. I don't want to keep hating on Northern Monk. I feel like every time they come up recently, they just get a bashing, and it's annoying. It's annoying me as much as it is everyone else. I just want them to make good stuff, because they can make good stuff. They've done it in the past. Please do it again, because if they went out and made a proper best bitter, charged a little bit more for it, but did it properly, bigger, richer, still sessionable, but just a little bit less washy than this is, and it would be phenomenal. But yeah, corners have been cut. It's a bit thin, it's a bit weak on the knees, and well, to be honest, the flavour profiling, fantastic. Like, the flavours in the intensities and percentages that are in there are really good, but they all just need coming up a little bit more indulgent, a little bit thicker, and then it would be a fantastic best bitter. It's a decent session drink, don't get me wrong, but that maltodextrin is a massive red flag for me. I just, yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, people, please. If you can not use maltodextrin, I would be eternally grateful, because it just ruins everything, basically. That really is all I've got to say about it, though. Have you tried it? Let me know, please, in the comments below. Are there any other new supermarket craft beers I should review, because I've been ignoring them and nothing tickles my fancy? But have you seen something you think might be worth a go, please, again, let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll do my best. But really, that is everything. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.